Goodness. So there's not like a filter. And I just curled up. And make them fell over. I'm still vaping. I don't really have stimulants and years of the risperidone after finding the one I could tolerate on that list. I miss the therapist who's like, you really don't have to. Or people being like, why is this damaging to you? And I'm like, this is really damaging. And like 3 years of weird ass detention. I shouldn't have invested any money in a business. I should have bought a tiny house and an RV and I'd be okay. I hope I get to actually understand my life. Maybe even talk about the Linux stuff or IoT stuff I like. I mean, I know like totally different model. I know Habitat came out a couple years after the stuff I was working on and buying people like, I don't know, they're mostly ARM-based pies and stuff. They sold Pi Zeros for like no money. And there were these people out of like Idaho or I forgot. This guy made this cluster, distributed Beowulf cluster of, I don't know. Doesn't matter. I keep switching Kubernetes and Kubernetes and I know all the concepts and I don't know it. It's like a really suck attack and humiliating myself all over DEF CON a bunch of years. Even I attended for real. Even when I can only be this guy's girlfriend thinking he works for a defense contractor about to get read in on some shit so he can fix this admin shit, solve all our tech problems, and go on about our lives. These aren't the best design, though. The Geek Bar people who do the trickle charge, and then you can do another hit when you're like, my vape ran out, I'm on the way to the store, and it doesn't stress you out and make you bad at the product. So genius. Anyway. I'm still in the camp of like the tobacco mint adult flavor. I don't know. I tried to talk to the EFF instead. Went to a weird permissions talk at DEF CON from a guy who I think is involved with Brave Brothers. I don't know. It's like people have a right to use another identity. I'm like, I need paperwork. I'm trying to trade these with my friend's mom. She's dead and I love her. I wrote 2 Russian friends dead and 1 Ukrainian friend dead in this. It's so hard. Not to mention the Slavs and Italian. You know, I have to explain my ankle tattoo, so there's not a problem before I stream any other stuff about Linux or computing or my IoT projects or genetic research or whatever. I know I have a designer dog from Korea and she's amazing. But, I have Yana tattooed on my ankle in Chirilica because I do. And, yeah. And my handle, Zvezda Bunny or Kelly Zvezda, is because I am Slav or Serbian of origin as well, slightly, even though I'm Crow. And everybody at one club or a few years of my life thinks I'm Bosanka, I'm Bosnian. And they don't know my name. I think 2 people in Vegas knew my name. But, I've known for years. Never scammed them, never routed them, was ethically wrong, never shitty, pretty genuine. Other than bio details and shit that isn't people's business. I don't really lie about anything. Unless I had pointed, concerted efforts that I really thought would pan out. And now I'm trying to assuage those and fix them so there's not problems. There's something about these gummy bears. I love the viscosity of these gummy bears. Like, And they've been doing well. Freaking ingredients, I understand them all. I don't know, I'm analyzing it about it. I'm like, glucose. I'm like, it's the beeswax. It must be. You need bees. It's not individually dirty. Gosh, remember when in Seattle? Okay, well, I need to go out of Seattle. I was weirded out about it. I don't know if I'll survive it again, so I'm posting this. I got a little pissed about the blood draw in the apartment, but I quarantined myself. Might have been dealing with biowarfare after the Vegas injection things, right? And I didn't even talk about how I was charged with trespassing after that. But I explained that in the other video. I'll edit this somehow, narrow it down. I don't want anybody hurt. No violence. Haven't committed any crimes, so I'm still technically a buyer if I could ever. And I sunk so much into arch privacy, trying to do those sustainable, self-sustaining, sustainable, like abandoned missile silos. Do a few things, plus the well, plus my ex designed water filters. I knew the redundant systems, plus the Soviet stuff of the electronics, plus my knowledge of IoT. I need to know how to solder. In between the two holds I had this summer, like when my dude threw me to them, probably to get executed. And then the other guys found me after the card thing happened. I couldn't book a hotel room, didn't know where to go. My apps didn't work. After that detention, before DEF CON, I acted okay during DEF CON, even though that second hospital system that I thought might be trying to be the good guys. You have to see them. They're billing me. They were calling me before I was in there. Anyway, what was I talking about? This is so humiliating. I'm trying to harass me. Okay, so yeah, DEF CON. Wish I could talk about that stuff without it intrinsically aligning it with my story. I don't know how to trigger warning this shit. I don't know. I feel like everybody acts like pussies, but maybe we're all going through some shit. I like pussies in a gendered or negative towards a female way because I think we're super strong. I think that if places valued women like me. DEF CON 2023, when they told me, you don't want your kind, your strippers. That really nice. I have to say nice because he was I don't know if I should capitalize black or use African American, but he was in a wheelchair. And I'm like, what's your wheelhouse? Like, what do you do? Blah, blah, blah. Talking to the other guy, I got weird because I touched his badge a little too forward. It was like a thing because it had Chiralitza Cyrillic on it. And I'm like, blah, blah, blah. So I tried to touch out. He got all weirded out. So I got pushed away from that group that I've been working on. And I just, like I said, I was out of, I didn't go back with my parents after being detained and that stuff. Lost my car, lost everything. Didn't have my computers with me to show the people at DEF CON certain shit. So stupid. I shouldn't have done things the way I did with backups and a lot of things. Anyhow, where was I? I don't know if I told him about meeting my dude at Circle Bar. Just Circle Bar a bunch of times. Oh yeah, I was still DEF CON 2023 trying to talk my way into a badge after the whole ordeal. We'll call it an ordeal, a side event. I'd like to not talk about it again. But to destroy our privacy and drive my whole life into destitution that make me dependent and not give me any recourse or hush money or even the recognition of not getting tossed into psych wards 2 times after that, being called paranoid, and they're going to need to see real world evidence. So to use a system to attack a person into real world evidence, call them a Russian, and then if I was Russian, would be at war. I haven't said, I'm like, if I was Russian, I could buy it. At that time. Yeah, I'm at my Circle Bar. You know me. Tried to push him away. After the Kaspersky guy, oh yeah, fucking thank you. The thank yous I have to give. Thank you to the people in Seattle when I was in Belltown who, it freaked me out with the fucking blood test. You didn't have to attack me into a psych hospital so you can use the evidence like they did in Ohio. I was so mad at my friend when they fucked me over with the color guard about that shit. Made me think of giving in it. Call me up there for my treatment plan. And then act like it was okay to assault me. And then have other people be all dismissive. Oh, you just want to be healthy. Oh, you tried to take my keys of my mom. Like, I used to think if I had witnesses and they knew I was credible or if there were real world issues going on, I thought for damn sure I wouldn't be attacked again. Anyways, I don't know if I have an ability to patent. I can't really earn money or go into business. I invested like over 20 grand in my grandfather's money. Some of it was investing in people. A couple paid me back incrementally, which is honorable and nice, especially if, like my dad said, nobody cares. But DEF CON. I always go to DEF CON or post something from that period of time. If it's not on pennypresses.net, I can't run a BBS game anymore from some free online game. I don't know how many people played Pandemic, but I can't. I'm barely using computers. I have, Ubuntu access for a really bloated, like, super distro. I don't know. I looked up new distros this year, and it just gave me a bunch of Ds. And, I'm pretty familiar with the KDE utilities. I used Manjaro for a while. I like the Archbang, like the Arch with an installer. Not wild about systemd. I was trying to start like this. I was going to use a NIT and like in a NIT based like ports like system. And then, I don't know. I feels like they're doing something close to that with this shit. Like, cron jobs and cron tabs, like cron tabs, like sending a bunch of shit. And I know I do stuff stupid ways. I know I'm not that smart with computers. I know I don't have the credentials or anything. Like when I gave my school speech in 2010 and taking online classes after doing the Red Hat classes and shit. Like I know I don't really have the credentials to be a Black Hat or DEF CON, which is kind of bullshit and feels really fucked up. And I finally made it there after clawing, scratching, scraping, and almost dying a couple times. I was really treated like shit, other than my dude. I think the first DEF CON when I lived in Vegas when I was a dancer, I walked into, I think it was DEF CON 22. Car Wrecking Village and a few other things. I actually wanted to talk to the lock pickers of the house. Like I was working on the smart house, like the smart lock for my other stuff that I needed someone to solder into, like the integration of the my silo. You can buy one for like no money. I almost bought one for no money, but my friend got a DUI and I had to give him all the money I had. I almost bought an abandoned decommissioned missile silo. I have the exact same story about a fucking rolling chassis of a Chevy Nova with a roll cage already put. That guy did so much work on it. And if I really thought even without cutting back the firewall and doing any of that, I really thought I could fit. It's a big block. You can't really fit a big block in it. But I thought I could. And, it was fun going to the drag races and stuff. At the time, I wanted to rally. I wanted to be like a NAB person on my off time. And I think there might be a Dakar rally again. I was going to use a Paris or Lisbon Dakar rally to travel, and now that it got doxxed and everyone knows it, Paris Dakar, and then when they moved it, and I was going to do the rally, and then cricket, and then soccer to get through Africa. If I got fucked up in the middle, I was going to talk to a few other people, and then do, like, an artisanal salt business. I know. I don't speak French that well. I really thought I could handle all this in the Russian zones. I've been gaslit a lot. I don't know if Liberia is real. And if the value of an American education isn't a thing, then what are we offering them? I mean, that whole model of what I've been lied to about really didn't work out that great. Anyhow, any user can't blend in Liberia, even if it did exist. It's kind of a thing. I don't know. I was having conversations with people like, we need reparations. And I actually had someone do, like, a thing about, like, what sounded like a Back to Africa movement. And I was like, or, like, they need land, or, like, they deserve land. Like, almost like these Zionists are doing another thing with the Africa thing. And then I was like, whoa. I'm like, wasn't there Liberia? Like, they gave the exact pitch of Liberia. I'm like, is there Liberia? Is there Liberia? I don't know. I only know, like, I think it's Swahili a little bit, like, these, I don't know. Mimi Situ, Mimi Kelly. I can do that kind of shit. Like, nice to meet you. But, okay. I don't feel hypertrophy. I don't get stimulants. Burns out all my dopamine. I took everyone on the list, the evil list, banned list in Saudi Arabia, even though they're like, the Saudis coming to Cleveland with a fucking escort from the Secret Service. Know anything about it? I'm like, I don't believe you. I'm like, were they red and white checkered? And they're like, no. And I'm like, probably not. It's like the people in Seattle doing the Palestine marches. I'm like, I don't understand this. One, I know one time I got it wrong to a person in a bar. I said Gaddafi instead of Arafat. But I really think there was a Yasser Arafat. I might have been lied to about history. I've been gaslit a lot. But the people of the Palestinian movement, and my friend's dad was from Palestine. I don't think he was a huge supporter. I don't know what he's a supporter of. Don't let him die. Anyway, was there a Yasser Arafat? Like, was any of this shit real? I don't know. After I was, like, arrested for the first time for something happening to me, to arrest a person after a right to refuse service is used a couple times after not letting them use a bathroom after they're trespassed out of places. It really feels like a fucked up thing. Lose the whole half of the strip. Their car is stolen. My dad didn't come out and give the title to someone yet. But, fresh, clean, paid off title, no liens. Full coverage insurance. That's how people are being programmed. Anyway, DEF CON, yeah. I set up posts every year, or I'll be alive during DEF CON. I know I went to DEF CON as my proof of life. And I really don't know who you guys are. I was told that. I'd like to do some, like, Ask Me Anything or fun videos, or I know I suck at technology and electronics. My dude's a dev and super smart. We're in an open but upfront thing that happens to be monogamous right now. Kind of. I don't know if I'm a slave or concubine, but still. I don't know how America works these days. So, yeah, DEF CON. If I don't post on Penny Presses, I'll do some kind of proof of life. I mean, I guess now that I have a Facebook, it's good enough. I don't really have a Patreon or Twitch. And I was dealing with the exit node situation after the VPN and endpoint management situations and DNS point, all that kind of shit. And the certificate situations, both of those. It's still the framework situation doesn't really change. But, wait, after all those, I don't know what situation. I don't know if Tomas wants to be humiliated by someone like the likes of me, who's just like a housewife who really does hold it down. Like, I do keep it all freaking clean. I know that isn't occurring anymore that way, but like, I really do. I do every single mother freaking day. Clean. That's barely all I can hold up to. I do the laundry. I take care of my dogs. I water the plants. I tidy the house. Tidy the floors. I do the dishes. I decorate for the seasons. I do a lot around this freaking house. And if you do give a woman a house, she'll provide a home. I put out every day. I try to be good company. I mean, it doesn't have to be every day. I enjoy that too. But, like, I don't know. I'm willing to do an AMA at, like, DEF CON. I got into my old Windows box that had problems. I might play EverQuest again. I know I'm a little old school in that. But, in my essays, I'm gonna dox those. And then write another one on how I evolved my perspective over time, because some of them are funny. I'm like, oh, I was wrong. But no plagiarism either. I danced my way through a degree. Or when I got injured, my grandfather did pay for it. I'm very grateful. People probably thought I was a customer. I wonder if that's why they thought they could just steal my car. I didn't know Vegas stole my car yet until I couldn't investigate with the, like, comma signs of it, having it been owned by someone, because they did. It is my fault. We worked it out. I rear-ended someone before Dead Man's Curve on the way to work in 2018. Drove my car to work and blah, blah, blah. Checked in on her. I know it was a very, very lovely pregnant black woman. I was not, like, being evil. I don't think she wasn't, like, injured at the scene, like, went to the hospital and stuff. But, I don't know if you can, I don't think I was Mirandized over the phone. And even if you are, I really don't think everything you know can be used against you if they're hacking you. I mean, I'm prone. If I got tortured, and everyone says, I mean, there hasn't been decided yet. Could not listen along with shit. Pretty long noise campaign. And they used that hospital system to do that while I was there. I was really trying to switch out and blue team for myself. I don't know if they set a future time TOD. Like, I don't know. There's nothing I can do. A really nice police officer. He's like, you gotta go through these steps. I was still trying to get attorneys back then. It's like back when I used to try to film before your phone gets hacked, they're like, we take it from you. Misuse of HIPAA really is fucked. But if that's how they're taking down Ohio, really sucks. Really fucking sucks. My grandfather being a Cleveland Clinic scientist his whole life. Born here. Hungarian American. My great uncle was in World War II. Got a Purple Heart on the American side. Third wave of Normandy. They wouldn't do an autopsy on my grandmother at all. I went over there the morning she died. I know I didn't cook my ex breakfast, but he didn't get me out when my family was, like, dropping me off at psych for cannabis. I know I did cannabis, but even though they did, like, it's so fucked up. But dropping me off there, it's my fault. When they yelled me in, they're like, that's the only way we can get our signature. I was so pissed. And they're like, 2 programming hours a day. I'm like, I only have to do this shit 2 hours a day, and I can actually not run everything command line. Sweet. Like, I'm like, you guys are going to admin? I tried so hard. But they wouldn't tell me the survival rate of their program, and I had a few attempts on my life already. I could do an AMA. I mean, I don't know how many other people's lives are like mine. Mine was already weird. That to say I didn't work hard enough as, like, a 15-year high extent exotic. Not even an exotic dancer. I barely dance. That's the beauty of it. Bottles, tables, contacts. Just think I tried to just keep business contacts. Like, I don't know. My really good friend that people didn't even know never dated. He's dead. Lamonek, Ukrainian, not Russian. Very clear on that one. I know he knows he knew my handle. Like Ziz the Bunny, the handle. I'm seeing as it is star in Russian and Serbian. I do have Russian tattooed on my ankle, but when the Russian store moved to the Jewish deli, and then I went there, and that guy saw me around, and he's like, I think it's like Serbian. He's like, Nianasha. Or Nianash, like one of those things. He's like, not that. He's like, what can you do to the other guy? And I'm like, maybe I would have gotten talked to. And then she's not one of our, like, she's not Russian. And I didn't have the candy, and I didn't know what to buy to get a conversation with a few people. They don't even have that. I am going to talk to my college essays so people can read that. I did go to the Jewish cemetery. I sat it by the solar lights, and they stopped being smart lights anymore. So I know they knew that I changed the name. I changed her name, and I changed it out of respect. Because I knew what people were saying, but it wasn't true. And after my hands shaking, and my whole childhood, I wanted to be a surgeon or a doctor, and such good grades. I should have gone into forensics with her. We talked about so many scientific things. She's going into Crim J. I should have come home. She didn't ask me to come home. But anyway, Yana's dead. Jesse's dead. Nick's dead. Lambo Nick, his license plate was I am Nick. So if you knew him, then his other license plate on the other Lambo was F Ferrari. We were friends for... he came out to Vegas. My friend from Ohio for years worked for him. I met him in like 2011. He passed away in like 2020. I met him in 2012 because it was a new house. So, passed away in 2021. I didn't find out till like 6 months later because he never knew my name. I mean, he didn't. He knew my name, but it just wasn't saved in any of his devices that way. But yeah, like I said, I'm getting back to that. Zvez the Bunny. I wish I got to ask him when he like freaked out a little. He's like, "Why did you put that on his like video machine?" It was one of the few things I almost tried to get or buy. I said if they do an estate sale, I wanted it from his house. One of those video like picture match or other things. I didn't get the programming. So when he's like, "Why did you do that?" When I put like, he's like, "Why?" So I'm like, I'm part Slav. Like, what the heck? And he was like, "Yeah." But anyways, he owned PC parts. And I still own my stuff. And anything Claudio did for me, even if he's dead too. I don't have any enemies. I'm worth more love. It would behoove people to keep me alive. Maybe I can actually do normal social stuff. Tomas is under so much pressure and he's looked to have. And we've been kind of trauma bonded, but like I said, he swooped me out of DEF CON after I was tortured. He got me quarantined after I went through that weird stuff. I don't know what happened. He didn't really help me when I had stuff done in the apartment. But But, thank you so much to whatever Asians pretending to be other Asians that put the Y-shaped thing in my tongue before I went and got zonked out at that hospital, because I did not have any stimulants with me and I couldn't fighter jet at that angle. Like that to do at the same time that shit hits you and you don't pass out and not lock your knees and be standing. I've never withstood that awake and without tools. So I knew my tongue could go in the back of my throat, but it didn't. And they only left me zonked for like a day. And I got to wake up to see that they did give me food. I'm really pissed. They cut off my shapewear and my really nice top. But I don't think it's okay. That's how the Seattle airport is. If your flight isn't there and you can't talk your way into asylum on Turkish Airlines and you can't talk to the fucking Chinese airline with the Korean staff who's doing like whatever, and like Chinese will like let me get in there. I mean, I'd already tried to get a ticket on American Airlines from the Filipino chick. Talked to the cops after, like, I fucked up, and I understand that's why DHS sent me the letter about the civil penalty. I don't know if that's being tortured again. But I did have those throwing knives that I'm not even practiced with those. I mean, with SOG ones, I'm pretty sweet, but unless you're at a certain distance, like, why would I use this as a weapon? You can't even, like, there's nothing good about it, and I would never hurt someone anyway. Unless they attack me. And they've only attacked me thus far with hospital professionals and cops that I can't assault. And I've talked them out, de-escalated, even broke some programming sometimes. Almost got some rights a few times. Almost got a few people to not commit crimes and break the law. But they've only attacked me with those people, so I can't hurt them. I'm just talking to them. Sometimes they let you take like the drugs orally, which is sweet. You can kind of throw out the Haldol and not get the muscle tension or the shaking or the other stuff. The intramuscular injections suck. But you got about 14 days to do your time, process, say the right things, and get out. So, don't let people get concerned about you. And especially not if you're like, you're at a place, your friend can get footage, your therapist can get you out, your parents know, you're fine. Like, when they get you then, I don't know if I'll get kidnapped by people in the world, because cops and all them already drilled that shit. But, I hope no one does, because I'm not really good at non-lethal. I mean, Jared was a ninja. I don't think he was 3-letter. I mean, I don't know. He's such a decorated Marine, and then he went Army Reserve and all that. I don't know. I've sparred with a lot of people, and then, I mean, learning Krav Maga, so I could be able to, when I was still able to have a pistol. Motherfucker. Like, and I've always been responsible with guns. I just wanted to know how to take it back from someone, or the little things you learn since Girl Scouts, like how to rip off an ear or shit like that. And then the other, like, no one should attack me. Please don't assault me. I don't want to kill anyone. I don't want to, like, ruthlessly maim anyone. I don't want to break my nail. I already broke one. I had to rip this nail off earlier. Broke, and I had to glue another nail on. Now it came off, and it's barely glued, so I can't even get that really nice Vietnamese lady who's like, this is gonna, like, I don't know. I'm like, can you put a nail? And she's like, yeah. She's like, that's gonna suck. And I'm like, I know, but I already got it x-rayed. It wasn't broken. So, yeah. We're gonna get a new nail on there soon. So, I know this shit isn't normal, but it's normal for us, right? Oh, yeah, the guy at the permission stock, the brave guy. The other guy tried to talk to the EFF. And then, like, that didn't happen. I went to the bug hunt thing. I don't know why they put me in the section 1. EverQuest guy. Fuck, I needed to group people. Anyhow. I mean, I found a few bugs anyway. Written letters about them. I found one before the CV report. It was pretty cool. But I was picking through logs every day, all day, like a job. Half the shit I found was just normal shit. They're like, oh, that's not a problem. It's so annoying. But, anyway. I'm not even using Linux right now. You'd think I'd like XCFE more. How I like a lightweight thing. And Kitty's fine. He's using Ubuntu with GNOME and all the bouncy shit and all the features. It's so heavyweight. Then we put in all the ARM things and then they distribute it like that. Like, it would just, I mean, it gets annoying burning out SD cards anyway. And I mean, my desktop is almost up and running. I didn't have GPUs because they all, I mean, whatever mining endeavor, they got lost to. That was Monero XML. Double blockchain and transparency. What do I know about stuff? People keep, I know, I'm reminded I'm a noob, I don't know anything, what credentials do I have, what authority do I have to know this, like, oh, you don't know enough to talk to, like, once you learn more, I'll converse with you. I know, I fucked up so many times, like, I'm like, I don't need SSH from everywhere, like, we don't need to do that, that would be insane, and I thought it was great, like, let's authenticate 2 and 3 within the tunnel, like, so stupid. Fucking stupid. You don't need all that. But when they're doing the port knocking anyway, you do port forwarding, can I combine the thing that no one will make me at with my Morse code app for doing the first 3 letters of people's names where it vibrates in your pocket? And then, like, take that and do, like, a port knocking system where you, like, knock sequentially on ports and then do, like, a forwarding to, like, the port and then put all my SSH or everything that can't happen there. I don't necessarily, like I said, the systemd port is, like, wild. Now I want all those daemons and logging. So, like I said, my position's evolved. I've been stupid. You want all the daemons and logging. Anyhow, so, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the sequential port knocking. I'm like, can't you just be like, da 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 da? Like, I don't know, something. It seemed logical. But like I said, it could be another computer problem that I try to explain to a bunch of cybersecurity professionals, some of whom I'm blowing, and they're like, yeah, that's impossible. Or like, why do you want to do that? Or like, this is so much better. And I'm like, why? It's not. I ain't going, all this, there's so many things that happen. Although that's good sometimes. I understand that some things need to run on that. I understand the need for proprietary stuff. I understand what happened. Like, I'm not trying to slap GPL on everything. But there, some of the repositories, like, do you really want to sit on, like, I think I call it AUR. I've only read, like, you read it, like, the R choose a repository, and then you read people's projects, and you're like, hey, guys, and then you're like, they might be foreign. You're like, I like your project. Could go with my project. Can you keep supporting your project? And I know it's like a system kickback. It's like these proprietary companies and other things that they're like, this guy's using this for his own shit. And then he does, like, the building blocks of technology, like, not slap, like, a new public license on it, but, like, sit there and be like, I'm going to give a kickback of supporting the building blocks of this shit to the community. And they do. You know? Kind of cool. But then you gotta, like, try to contact them and then convince them to give you their shit and then convince them to support it for you. And then for, like, doing it for you, like, do you know how hard? That's so hard. So hard. But not that somebody doing, like, a let me Google that for you or read the fucking manual. Like, that's like someone did your work for you and actually posted back. And you didn't do it. Like, I read everything, troubleshoot, try to do that, and then research. And nowadays, I'm just like, I don't know. Could be a lie. I don't even know if computers are real. Well, they are. But I don't even know if Linux is real. I've been gaslit so much. I mean, Pac-Man was easy. Like I said, I took Red Hat. Hey, Manjaro. If I give me Parrot OS, it was a weird install. We're like browsing. I mean, you can have the instant space, like the Tails things and the, I don't know, browsing. I don't think like URL hopping or things like Iceweasel like are still a thing. I know that got popular, I think, as a show. I don't know which one. Anyway, oh, yeah, it's probably fucking stupid misconceptions about Linux. Mr. Robot, because a lot of the Linux stuff in there is pretty cool. Like when they were doing the Rabbler thing, and I don't want a Rabbler in this, though. Like, I don't need my thoughts obfuscated with some bullshit that I can't not listen to. Especially if you don't give me access or let me fix. And somehow I've real weird admin. Do not want that. Might be my fault. It wasn't as CDers and that, and it wasn't necessarily in my system. But if you're hacking me and I'm looking at it, like, and it's the same, like, I knew where the walls were, like, you know. What the fuck's the problem with finding a way to, like, config CDers and add it to the wheel after you add yourself? I don't know if that caused a problem. Someone should talk to me. Should have just threw a talk at DEF CON or done a real scavenger hunt. I was going to rent a tour bus and then same day, without thinking about it ahead of time, while thinking other things, find all the hackers and professionals I needed and just get the tour bus guys. Like, I knew I could arrange that with one of them, and then I was going to just pick them all up and be like, you guys want to go on a motherfucking adventure? Because we're gonna solve this right the fuck now in a weekend. I went to DEF CON 2024. The only time I didn't have any bullshit going on. So thanks. Like I said, I'll get proof of life every year. Can't really talk to people that much. After, like, all the other issues, and they're like, oh, well, you have the exit note issue, and, I mean, all of mine are either, like, before it was all, like, Navy military or Navy corpsmen, like, locking down my stuff, running my credit report. I tried talking to them. It was my doctor then, too, after we did it, prescribing me just a controlled substance for ADD I wasn't feeling. I wasn't crazy. Not then. I still am not. But, should have leveraged him when he billed for that many hours of contraceptive surveillance as my boyfriend. At least I wasn't cheating, fucking anyone. Super annoying until the Persians. Anyway, the Persians were only because I was trying to sell large cats. Okay. I was trying to endeavor to trade. None of that's criminal. Really, I had attorneys, people then to consult with. Yeah, when attorneys still existed, I don't know if they still exist after I was almost detained at Cleveland State after an active duty military personnel called me paranoid. Trying to get my shit investigated. But hey, when they fucked me up in Color Guard, I guess I should have known they were taking people down like that. I still won't renounce or act against my country. We're so wrong, though. Oh, the first time they got me, it's only a couple of weeks into the attacks. Be careful of the Vraylar. Can't believe it's still on the market. It's really hurt a lot of people I know. 5 days fucking into it is when they first got me into that fucking system I can't access. So, I don't know what paperwork. Wasn't okay, but I walked outside naked at like 4:30 a.m. and my mom marched me up, and I was thinking of her, and so a bunch of people went to the same high school, and proving the Holocaust was real, and I didn't know which clothing label. I'm like, I didn't hide money in any of these countries, and I was like, I didn't like, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to be sold to any of those countries yet. I didn't know if I was up for grad, like, I didn't know. So stupid. Yes, I know the Holocaust is real, like, was real. I'm like, which genocide? Like, I know a lot of history. And then it was so stupid. I'm like, I'm not anti-Semitic. Got the people filming across the street, doing that line to their building, like that Vantage. Someone's filming my thing. I don't know, filming my therapy sessions. I was probably supposed to be doing that after I was assaulted rather than using it to discredit me before when I thought I could still clear my name. Anyhow, wasn't assaulted. Don't want it happening again. Just a scotch of misunderstanding. Didn't turn out to be biological warfare. It was just a trick of IoT technology that messes with your nerves, targets certain nerves, and it can be attached to probably a payload in a washing machine. I don't know if I could do it with mine. I don't think I'll blow up for mine though, because they've fixed a lot of things since Samsung started blowing up. Anyhow, I used my application to fucking CIA to tell them that. Especially because I'm like, I can't have them blowing up Seattle. I can't have them blowing up the town. Even if they convinced me I was in another country for a minute. I don't know. There's 2 different cities. They were convincing me I was in a different country. And I'm like, well, maybe. And I rolled with it. I'm like, was I teleported? I'm like, what a way to travel. Go to sleep in one room, wake up in another. Those nurses moonlighting with hangover cures with a banana bag. They're like, you can get a banana bag in the morning. If I had a business, I'm like, if we go to a convention, I'm getting all of my employees this service. Pedialyte, a banana bag, Zofran. I'm like, you guys are ready for the day. I don't care how hard you partied in Vegas. But, yeah. But I wouldn't get my employees teleported. Even the ones really, how many world leaders, if you're born into America, you're that scared to travel, you're like, I'm going to go to bed in this hotel. You guys build exactly the same hotel and casino. Well, you don't have to if you're in on it. You have to build the same one. So they got me. I'm like, I went to bed in my room, or I'm in another. One of the storefronts had been changed. And then this guy tells me that and he's like, this is happening. I walk out with them and I'm like, fuck. They remodeled the Monte Carlo. I'm like, it could be. It could be in that country. You gotta not be unscientific about it, just proving the induction of a symptom is a symptom. Never had that without that. Like I said, I really thought there were logs. I'm a pretty fun person, smart, stupid, nice, overly nice sometimes. So much bad shit's happened to me, something good has to come out of it, and I refuse to let it have power over me, and I refuse to be bitter or hateful or vengeful, which if I don't want to be vengeful and this starts doing it, please don't let anyone who tortured me be assaulted. But if you did do that as a Russian, as if I was a Russian, when they were not wrong in this, and there's fucking people of a different culture purporting to be that, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to blame themselves. Just like me when somebody fucked with me and down on the North Korean cyber team has Adderall. I'm like, yeah, I need a prescription. They got their motherfucking prescriptions filled. I'm like, cool. And I was like, at least they're sporting. I mean, don't you want them going there if they're still clearing out atolls and doing testing? And I don't know. I was trying to get a hold of 2 trans people. I mean, I only knew a couple basketball players. I don't really think I could reach out to Rodman and be like, hey, you're weird. You probably were being affected by that. You entertained the grant. I don't know. Keep coming to the Olympics, guys. Because you know what? No matter what's happening to people, if we don't have things like that, I'm super big on that weird Olympics tree. I'm like, everybody's going to have bad parades. You won't have those giant militaristic communist parades if you're fighting during the Olympics. I'm such a fan of I'm such a child about it. Although Russia during I couldn't go, and they sent back the check ripped up from the passport I tried to get to my passport. So it's not like I can go to, if there was a Friendship World Games, or should have done a World Fair. The drone racing is so sweet. And I know it was super divisive to want to do the videos I did. I was making money, so doing like drone shoot. I was into trap and skeet shooting growing up. Before I was crazy, this wasn't a problem. I've never been irresponsible with guns, and I'm not crazy. I wouldn't call anyone else crazy. Mental illness, it's bullshit, and especially induced, it's really fucked up. But yeah, I was always into the shooting sports. Not so much shotgun, even though I had one. It was fun. Got to skeet shoot with my grandfather before I had to give my guns away. And then, obviously, I had the pistol and like meeting Croatia. It was nice. I liked my 9. I liked shooting. It's cathartic and peaceful and centering and having shaky hands and having really good body positioning. Even though my hand, like I have bad manual dexterity, but gets you in touch with your breathing and your focus and so much. And it's empowering. And I don't know, shooting is the most peaceful, calm, least angry, most like centered physically I've honestly ever been. I've taken so many friends back. But and I know she didn't do that. And she never would. So back left. She can't shoot anymore. Gosh, if I like Nordic more, I'd be a biathlete. If I could be on any of those Paralympic teams, those guys, they're just like the shoots. Like I'd devote myself to their like in causes for like the entire time. I'd be like, here's your data. Like it's like I can't do Nordic, but you spend your like hours being like working on like something about Jesse Diggins and be like, hey, I really think I want to like send a dumb message. I should try and be like, I think you can improve with this. And I'm like, how can you tell somebody that good? I worked in a ski shop in Ohio for my high school job, sold skis. Oh, I loved it. I like downhill. I'm a skier, not a snowboarder, I know. When I was sitting in Seattle, quarantining about that shit, perched in my apartment, looking down at K2, wishing I could talk to them about pitching a new. I wanted to give first pass to Tyrolia because I think that's what Shane McConkey was using when he passed. He needed the upward release for the ski base. But using some autocannon bullshit on like a weekend project, sitting there and you're like, we can make ski base findings at Jettison that way. And like I ever watched This Spy Love Me, and then you watch like all that other stuff and Blizzard of Oz, and I don't know, I can't hug myself off of stuff anymore. My rock years in Vegas, I don't climb a lot. I do talk me whitewater rafting, and it was like old times. You're like, no, but he's gonna use this as an excuse to kill me right now. It's like New River Gorge almost. We were on like 2s and 3s. It wasn't crazy. He's amazing. I probably would have. I love meeting him at DEF CON, falling into him. I might be getting rendered like dependent on shit kind of sucks, and if people can't control what they do. Who knows? I don't think anybody wants me to actually make research-pointed videos, and there aren't a lot of things with stuff like that. And I know I'm like a Brian Lundy fan of the old like Linux sucks talks and Linux and everything, because that really got me into the IoT. Not got me into the IoT projects, but it branched me out into other people's IoT projects and digging through repos looking for other people's shit, because I can't code. I'm just a script kiddie, like understanding what's going on the computer. So do you think I'm an XCF? I don't know what other terminal stuff people are using. When I look up a distro on my phone, it simply gives me like DEs a couple times. It did. So I don't know where things are at. I didn't really dig into Endeavor. I'm not like Arch because it's cool. I dug their like Arch Wiki and their manuals and stuff and their community a little bit better. Not better, I just vibe with it a little better than like the Gentoo or Linux from Scratch is so much more research and I get too distracted. And then, I don't know, like I said, I took Red Hat, but I don't make proprietary. Ubuntu just makes sense. And the Debian projects and stuff and Debian-based stuff, I mean, it's not like William released like the Bleeding Edge, and by the time they circle jerk around and decide on something and make it stable and release the thing, like I guess you can rely upon it. Right? Am I wrong? I don't know if I've been lied to about all of this, and I know that I am not, I know I don't have the authority or credibility or, like, I know I might be out of line in trying to talk about this stuff online or even go to DEF CON when I was really humiliated after I was really hurt and I pulled myself together and went there trying to get jobs and get people to sign a 1-week NDA embargo on some stuff while we tried to yank me out and admin some shit. You know how crazy that is. Then I just got pulled out of there. I had to go quarantine, mess recover, weird shit happened to my body. Purging it too. Then if they're gonna do home blood drug testing, then get you to the airport, cancel a flight, Turkish Airlines, Chinese Airlines, talked to cops twice. Luckily, I met that guy from Afghanistan, gave me Monster Energy drink out of nowhere. We talked about converting poppy fields to saffron and other crops that I had been researching and are connected, so that was cool. I had a ride, call my dude back there. I think they were just trying to like shoot me off at the airport, but I was a little too loud once it went down to the baggage claim thing, and I'm like, people might be programmed. Like, that was a new thing I discovered, brand new. Weird. I'm a little worried. I don't want people freaking me out for things or constantly using this freaked out terror because I'm scared, because I started thinking of my contingency plans, right? And I'd be like, wow, those ports up there, and there's like hooks to rappel, you know? And I'm like, I don't know where they keep their winter washing shit from this building. No one washed the windows on this building. I'm like, how am I going to rappel down if I need to? I can't get out the window. Going from the top deck and then other things. And I was busy trying to get into the telecom closet. I'm not going to add any promiscuous packet sniffers or weird things to other people's stuff. There was a data port in the wall, but it's old school. It's like a 90s building. I'm like, I could probably run the city from this building. I want that building back. Anyway, I'll fortress the shit out of that if we go full apocalypse. And use it. No, I'll probably take that bridge over there by Cleveland. Fortifying the strip club. Put a couple gals on the turrets. Close enough to my stockpiles. We're fine. Anyhow, so if the shit hits the fan, I don't have a bunker or anything. First time I've ever had debt. There's someone out there trying to marry my ex-Navy corpsman. Asshole doctor. He's not an asshole. If I would have given him a blowjob, like he said, he's like, you can blow me if you want when he's trying to have a mature conversation. Bought all that Costco shit. He did let me get my laundry out before he kicked me out in the middle of the night in a foreign, well, it's California, not a big deal. Went to Santa Monica, got a room. Cried a bit. Headed out, met some friends. Victorville. Went to Vegas around June, beginning of June, trying to make it to Black Hat and DEF CON 2023. But after Alexa kicked me out at the MGM casinos, that crazy shit, and I don't know why I got kicked out, but the screaming out of the bathroom stall, throwing out, like, I don't even know if Julian Assange is real, and I'm not trying to be a activist, but the whole hands forward. I only got scraped up a little bit. And because my phone was stolen and people started looking for it, which was weird, I stayed on their property until sunlight. So, but when I went back there after meeting the Kaspersky Labs guy at DEF CON, they didn't kick me out and nothing weird happened. I was actually almost like, I'm like, oh yeah, something weird happens now. We got problems. But awesome guy. Really cool couple days. And then, yeah. Should have taken... Never... I should have been an escort out of millions. I'm not an escort. But if a guy's like, here, buy yourself something nice, if you've been like robbed blind, it's not shitty. I should have taken that though. Instead I went with another couple of friends, met that guy, Oregon or Seattle area. And then I did that. Walked around. Israeli, a few other people. Israeli guy buying me a burger. Back to Circle Bar again. I don't know, I just kept getting back to Circle Bar. It was like by the old... I miss Imperial... I liked Imperial Palace. But, yeah. DEF CON. And then I met my boyfriend. It was after DEF CON I had struck out, and then I booked a hotel room for the next day instead of that day when I was already stretched and I never had jet and I was on credit and I had been through hell and I didn't know what had been done to my body. I didn't quarantine and process that shit through me yet. Shit was crazy. Crazy. Made it. Had the wrist x-ray, so that might be why some people might have pushed the bounds of the law. Thank you, Foreign Services, and broken in and saved my life. And thank you for the weird body mod that freaked me the fuck out, but it got me through being Cold War just dropped. At that angle, I probably would have choked on my tongue. I'm pissed they cut off my clothes. I love that shape where it's my favorite one. And then to ball up your money like you look like a beggar when it wasn't like that. Steal your makeup and then toss you out onto the streets like that. Pieces of shit. Should have been investigated. I wanted to know what procedures were done to me when they cut off my clothes. Especially when you take a fully conscious woman. I know. They're like, well, you were too loud in baggage claim. I'm like, they canceled my flight, did all this shit. No Ubers or taxis, and they're closing the airport. Dude leaves. I got him to come back, and then when I got detained, really weird. Not very far to the hospital from the airport. Is that the real airport? So, I know that was stupid to try to talk my way to Turkey. I'm like, I want to go to Cappadocia. It's always favorite honeymoon destination. Kiev and just... Empresses have stayed in those caves. Anyhow. I thought hiding in a cave would be better. I'm sorry for threatening to commandeer a pueblo. I was talking to a native or indigenous person. I was not trying to take native land. I was just gonna be like, I need a base camp right then when I was trying to like gather people. So like commandeering a pueblo sounds weird, and I know that was a weird threat, and I don't think it was terrorism. And the Department of Homeland Security said, but if I was gonna like be posted up somewhere, it's a really long hike. I thought it was a long enough hike, but also like with that and past the geocaching shit that I had to do. Shit's stupid. Shit's crazy. Anyhow, did not commandeer Pueblo. Did not go to a cave. Got my boyfriend back to the house. Had weird shit going on. Super pissed about that weird cycle. Just learned people were being programmed. That freaked me the fuck out. And then that guy that was like, oh, I couldn't pay my bills and I'm disabled. We wheeled him to St. Josephine. I'm like, are you guys doing a thing? I don't want that to happen. I did not understand the weekly marches for Palestine. And I might have been lied to because I don't know if there was a Yasser Arafat or they said the Abraham Accords were later. And I thought it was like part of the 50s stuff because it's so like really intense. And you're like, really, guys? Of all the phrases, like, what you guys are going to do like the extra, I don't know. And I'm like, from the land. It was wild. I don't understand their point, but I get it. We actually have some of our citizens prepared to march against or oppose an overarching or Zionistic Israeli thing. I don't know if they're the ones we need. Very confused about the movement. Watch a protest from my apartment. I'll put them in. I have video of them right here. I don't know if it was men and women praying together. They were not. It wasn't the right direction, but I didn't know. And maybe they just built a separate building and it was in Asia, because there might have been Asians pretending to be other Asians. That's when I met my one Hmong friend and the other guys. It doesn't matter. Asians, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't want people repelling to buildings. Gosh. Yeah, Palestinian movement, pretty cool, I guess. I respect the rights to march. I've never been an activist or marcher. Advocate, yes. I'm quite a proponent of things. Never really put things on blast that much. I don't really understand how to use social. I'm going to try to splice some of this stuff up to make sense and actually be cohesive or linear and not making sound crazy. Yeah, like I said, we got out of Seattle then. Made it through. Made it back. He left me there. I got TT. Didn't clear my name so I could work with him. I used to be trying to apply for his job at a defense contract. If I have admin, someone needs to tell me what's going on. I don't want it from this.